What's your name?
Nancy Miller,
And you're my mom. What year were you born?
1960,
Alright, what city and state were you born in?
Detroit, Michigan.
Alright. What's your profession?
I am a recreation therapist and a personal trainer.
Alright, that's good. Alright, I'm gonna interview some questions. What sports did you play when you were growing up?
Baseball, volleyball, basketball. Where we played actually softball and fast pitch.
Okay. What role did your parents play in your passion for the game? Like, what did your parents think about baseball?
Actually, my dad was a coach of our softball team for many years, and they
Uh,
also encouraged us to play baseball, and they loved it.
Alright. Who was baseball more important to, you or your parents? Can you explain why?
I would say both of us because we played ball. They always came and watched, and we watched the Tigers, and we all kind of enjoyed it together. And that's how I learned to enjoy it through my parents.
Okay. Alright. What role did your friends play for your passion for the game? Like, what did your friends think about baseball? Or
Majority of my
softball, whatever.
majority of my
Baseball.
friends liked baseball. Both I had a lot of guy friends who played baseball, and a lot of girls who played softball. Most of my friends were on my teams.
Okay. That's good. Um, with whom did you learn to play catch? Describe your experience.
I learned how to catch with my dad, but my mother, who was a lefty, would always catch the ball and throw it back to me as my dad taught me.
Alright. How did you follow baseball? Like, when you were younger, kinda.
But basically, it was always just by radio. We'd always listen to WWJR
Mm-hmm.
or CKLW, and they would always have the games on it or the sports stations, and we would follow it that way or listen
Alright.
to the game.
Alright. So it's kind of changed now. What
Yeah.
people listen to watch TV. Can you describe one memorable moment or time for you and for like baseball when you think back?
It was when the Tigers won the 1968 World Series. We went down to Detroit to celebrate, my parents and my sisters and I. And actually, we have a couple of pictures of somebody we knew down there saw us and took pictures of us as we were driving with our Detroit Tiger pennants through the streets.
All right. Okay. When and where did you play the game? Describe in detail how it went. Like, who decided who played?
What happened usually is that we'd always start off playing in the neighborhood, people, boys and girls together, because my sisters and I were pretty good baseball players. Like, we would all knock on each other's doors, and then we would head out to the elementary school down the street and play hours and hours and hours of baseball.
All right. Okay. What role did your parents play in these games? Like, did they just drop you off, or they come watch, or umpire, or?
Well, during those games, we would just play. But like I mentioned earlier, my parents always came and watched. My dad coached us. My mom would always be out there honking her horn. She wouldn't always come to the stands, but she'd be out in the car watching. And every time I got a hit or something, she would honk her horn at everybody. Or she had like this weird cowbell that she would ring all the time. It was
So
kind of
good.
embarrassing, but you know.
Yeah. Who was your favorite player and why?
My favorite player was Al Kaline, number 6. He was a very good player. He was cute too at the time.
Oh,
And I really respected how he was modest and never bragged or wasn't a mean player and had good sportsmanship.
all right. How was it different than one of your parents' favorites?
I think my dad liked some of the older players like Lou Gehrig and Mickey Mantle. Well, not Mickey Mantle, but Babe Ruth. But I think they were a little dirty at times and were kind of cocky when they played sports.
All right. What are your feelings about kids with cell phones?
Kids with cell phones should only use them, should be on a time schedule. I think it makes too much, it's too much for them. If they spend too much of it on their phones and not doing other things or getting outside and playing ball.
All right. What are your feelings about snack schedules in youth baseball?
What is it?
What are your feelings about snack schedules and youth baseball? Do you think it's like right?
Oh, well, you know, snack schedules are always fun because it brings the players together at the end of the game, and it's kind of a little bit of a reward for them afterwards. So I think it's a good thing.
Alright. What are your feelings about everybody's bats? Everybody's safe in games without scores in today's baseball. Do you think everybody should be able to bat in their rec games and like have like sometimes not keep score?
I think everybody should have the opportunity to play in a game. So maybe not everybody in the field, but everybody should be able to bat when they're playing. Should they keep score? A lot of times when the kids were younger, there was the team. Nobody would keep score, but there was always somebody keeping score, and everybody go run up to that person who was silently keeping score. What's the score? What's the score? And for some reason, no matter what, somebody knows what the score is.
Alright. Well, thanks, Mom, for the interview.
All right. You're welcome. Go Tigers!
Yeah.